It's been 1 year in the making as we head back to where it all began, even before this brand existed. Once again, NXT UK takes over Blackpool. Hello, everybody. I'm just a simple man and the inaugural NXTeam League Predictions Champion as we kick off this year. And my name is Noah Foster, and welcome once again to another Simplin Predictin Wrestling video. In this video, we will be kicking off 2020 NXTeam League this year with NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool 2. And with me tonight are two of the very gentlemen that choose to challenge me in this year's league. Allow me to introduce you to them. First off, he has his own series, he has quite a lot to say, but he's also a good-hearted fellow. It is, of course, the Birdman of Boston himself, Mr. Owen Finch, leader of the Wrestling Rundown. Owen, how are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm excited to, be doing this video, and I'm hoping, 2020 I can be on more aftermatch and all that type of stuff, because I know towards the end I got so busy that I didn't have time. So it's a new year, and I'm excited about this weekend because not only is it NXT UK, I know this is a side thing, but it's also Impact Wrestling later on the night has Hard to Kill, so it's going to be a big day of wrestling again. Like I feel like that happens a lot with wrestling now.
Yeah, it seems like that. I mean, we've already had a crazy start to January. For those that follow my channel, you know that I cover the entire Wrestle Kingdom weekend. Speaking of which, he is my good brother, and we are proud members of Team NXTUK, and we love New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's a good-hearted fellow, and he'll bring you more humor than Kenan Thompson. Yes, I said it. Look him up Saturday Night Live. It's, of course, my friend here, Mr. Christopher Willis. Chris, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome back.
Oh, man. Noah, it's good to be back. Finally doing the preview and predictions video with you guys. Last year, I did do the preview and predictions, UK, Cardiff, with my good sister, Sydney. She couldn't be here with us today, but I will be reading her picks.
Indeed. Yes, this is very impromptu because this is the first time I'm taking over for really AfterMatchWrestling as other obligations came up for, of course, the Rated R reviewer, Stephen R. Osborne, and, of course, our own mad scientist, leading General Jerry Slaughter. But I do have his picks, too. And, of course, good evening to you, sirs, and good luck. But with that being said, yeah, let's just go ahead and get right into it. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool 2. I'm surprised I haven't botched that yet. And boy, to think, 1 year ago this place, NXT UK, they made their mark, and now they're doing it again. We have a wild 5-match card here, and basically we are summed up in excitement thanks to the Prime Target special that took place instead of a usual episode of NXT UK. So with that, let's go ahead and get right into the matches. I think first up, I want to discuss the one match that, if you were to rank these matches, I think this one is the least priority right now on everyone's list, but it still should bring something. We have Trent Seven of Mustache Mountain versus the returning Eddie Dennis. Now, of course, this match was brought on out of nowhere after Trent Seven won another competitive match, and he's high-fiving, shaking hands with the audience, but then he reaches out, and there's a mysterious long arm that reaches out to him but still grips him. We go into it, and it's Eddie Dennis himself, who apparently has been in isolation, as you all know, from surgery, and has not been in the Performance Center or on NXT UK TV in forever. Honestly, I think the last match I remember seeing him in was literally last year's NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool with Dave Mastiff. But with that being said, good brother Chris, what's your thoughts on this match, and who's your pick?
Well, honestly, I really don't care about this match too much. But when Colin brought up something very interesting, that Eddie Dennis recently won the Progress Heavyweight Championship from Walter. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll take this match a little bit more seriously. But the last time Eddie Dennis wrestled on NXT UK TV was against Ligero. That was his last match of the year. That was back in March of 2019. Trent Seven, when it comes to his takeover matches, he is 0-2. Eddie Dennis is 0-1 when it comes to takeover matches. So one of these guys really need a victory. So my pick is going to be Eddie Dennis. For Sydney's pick, she's also going with Eddie Dennis.
Did she have any further thoughts besides that, or did she just say Eddie Dennis?
Let me see here. She said, and I quote, needs the win for his first pay-per-view appearance. But really, I told her it's the second pay-per-view appearance for Eddie Dennis. So
Right, because again, I remember him from the last Blackpool takeover. All right, well said. Owen, what's your thoughts on this, and who's your pick?
So I do have a question about Good Brother Chris is like, are you basing the records of all NXT takeovers, like the US one too? Or is it UK?
Yes,
Okay.
they actually count the US ones too.
Because Trent Seven, because I don't remember him being on the Cardiff, but I do remember he was on Brooklyn. I think it was 4 when
Yes,
him and
Brooklyn
Tyler
4 and last year's Blackpool. That's why he was 0-2.
Correct, because he took on Undisputed Era with his partner, Tyler Bate, for the NXT Tag Team Championships, and lost.
But yeah, this is a very interesting program. I think it's been pretty coolly built up. I really like the character direction they're going with Eddie Dennis, where he's been in isolation because he was on like the verge of kind of breaking out in NXT UK, and then the injury kind of set him back, and then you have him kind of going after Trent Seven, who's like been an original of NXT UK, and they have like a history obviously together in the UK independent scene. And I like that they really haven't had Eddie Dennis really talk all that much. I think that really makes him stand out. And I even said in the chat, thinking I was the only one, I actually like this feud. I think it's pretty damn good. And then obviously most people agree with me. But yeah, it really is a tough one because Trent Seven also needs to win too, because he kind of has been in limbo on NXT UK really since the British Strong Style Imperium feud kind of faded away. Because Tyler Bates kind of been featured heavily, and Pete Dunne's been very heavily featured, obviously. But I think Eddie Dennis needs to win more. This is his first match back in NXT UK, and I really think they really need to establish him. I think Trent Seven, because he's kind of like a legend in NXT UK, I think it's not going to hurt him as much to take the loss.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, British Strong Style are the founding pillars pretty much of NXT UK. Some people call Trent Seven like the Silver Fox, per se. He's coming off, of course, an incredible match against Noah and Dar, and then got thrusted into this feud. So as much as I want to believe that Trent Seven's going to have momentum on his side and get another win here, I feel like Eddie Dennis, he really needs to make a major mark to get back to that sort of, I guess you could say, viewership that he was before Dave Masters bombed him, per se. So I agree with you all, actually. I believe that Eddie Dennis is going to win as well. And our own General Jerry Slaughter, he said that Dennis beats Seven as well. So right now, as far as we go, we're all unanimous. But we'll see what the Holiday, Chris Mace, Evan LG Francis, and Mark Griffiths says as well once I make the overall graph. And that is the entire NXT team, I believe. Oh, and Jeff Meacham, if he has caught up. I know he was binging, but again, he's doing a lot of great things and, taking care of family. We're all
also,
busy.
James, you forgot James, too.
Oh, yeah. Again, there's like 10 of us, all right? I'm used to like 4, 5, 7, and it's the first time. Give me a break for the year. All right, so we're all Eddie Dennis. As far as us 5 goes, I'll get up the other 5 later. Good grief. All right, now let's go. You know what? The hell of it. Let's just go with the general order because who knows? That might actually be the order. We'll talk more about that later. So we all saw NXT TakeOver 25, right? What was one of the highlight matches from that card? A 4-way ladder match. Here we are. 4-way ladder match for the NXT UK Tag Team Championships. We got the grizzled young veterans versus Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel of Imperium. Yes, very good, good brother, very good. Versus Mark Andrews and the man with 3 names, Flash Morgan Webster, and versus the champs. Yeah, go ahead, wave. Whoa. Versus Gallus, who are currently the actual NXT UK Tag Team Champions. Now, we all know the history of all 4 of these teams, and we all know how this match was brought about. After negotiations was made between 2 people we'll talk about later, Walter and the Iron King Joe Coffey, there was negotiations where Gallus would put up their tag team titles against Imperium. And the match fell apart because the grizzled young veterans, they came out and tried to steal the titles, only to be interrupted by the former champs themselves, Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. And next thing you know, they're all brawling, and Sid Scala and Johnny Saint, they make the announcement that these titles will not be degraded anymore. They will be hanged above the ring at the Emperor's Ballroom. Takeover, Blackpool, a four-way ladder match. With the amount of talent we got in this match and the different type of styles and beliefs that each one brings, not to mention, 3 of these teams have actually been the champs, 1 hasn't, but I think you all know where I'm going with this. I believe we're in for something extremely special, and I think it's going to be like a European powerbomb off the top, and that's why I'm going with Imperium becomes the new NXT UK Tag Team Champions. Simple as that. With that being said, Jerry Slaughter, he agrees with me too. Imperium wins the straps. Now, with that being said, Owen, who's your pick?
Yeah, I think this is going to be an awesome ladder match. This match had a lot of story behind it, with Grizzled Young Veterans being the first champs, and they lost the titles to Morgan and Webster, and then, lost them to Gallus, and then Gallus has been feuding with Imperium. I'm going to say the same thing. I think Imperium, this is going to be the start of them getting all the gold. I think it makes sense for them to finally rule NXT UK. And also, Imperium's going on to face Undisputed Era. I think this would be a nice way to get momentum going into that match as well. So I'm going to say Imperium become the new champs. And I think they should hold the titles for a while because we've been kind of flip-flopping the titles recently. So,
Indeed. All right, good brother. What did you and Cindy say on this match?
Well, I guess I'll just read Good Sisters first. She says, Imperium, upcoming worlds collide so they can become the new tag team champions. So all right. Imperium holding all the gold, if necessary. This match, I am looking forward to this. Oh, shout out to Jerry. WWE needs to write Jerry a check for like $10,000 because of that booking. So yeah. Jerry got to get busy.
Jerry's unbelievable. It's like he can foretell the future.
Yes, great booker. Shout out to you, Mr. General. Gentlemen. This match to me is going to be like storytelling, high flying, and it's going to be a chess game. Trust me, I know these guys are going to wrestle each other for like a good 30 minutes. Oh, yeah. Now let's go with the records when it comes to TakeOver. Imperium, when it comes to Bartel and Eichner, they have never been to a TakeOver, so they're 0-0.
Yeah.
Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews, they are 1-0. Gallus is 0-1. And when it comes to the Grizzled Young Veterans, they are 1-1 when it comes to takeovers. Now, I had to really write this down for good sister Sydney. She says, and I quote, "Don't at me, Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews are not winning." Her words, not mine. So, my pick to win this ladder match is going to be Imperium. They're going to be the brand new NXT UK Tag Team Championships.
Yes, because if you all saw Prime Target, they're like, this goes against everything we stand for because the mat is sacred. But if this is what we need to do to really illustrate our point, so be it. It looked like that Imperium and the Grizzled Young Veterans, they were really against this idea. You would think most people would obviously favor the high flyers in Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews. Like I said, I think we're going to be really pleasantly surprised. And I am not going to be surprised at all with what Mark Coffey might do because he was the 0G champion in ICW and defended that very title against his brother, the Iron King, which we'll talk about later. But I think, I feel like right now it's Imperium's time. So right now, the 5 of us, we're unanimous. We'll see what happens. All right. Now, we already talked about how this match is going to be amazing, but I honestly think this match could steal the show. You have the former NXT UK, and yes, I said it like that because screw WWE UK champion. Blah. I digress. You have the former and the inaugural NXT UK champion in Big Strong Boy himself, Tyler Bate, versus the Irish Ace, Jordan Devlin. Now, we all know how this came about after Tyler Bate had a Match of the Year candidate with Walter at NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff, but lost after getting clotheslined from hell 10 times over. He talks about what's next for him, and he still wants to grow this brand, so who comes out and basically, takes his moment and basically reminds him what happened. You lost, but I'm the one guy in NXT UK that can beat Walter for that title, and I deserve a title shot. I deserve to be at TakeOver. And then he took on a protege in Tyler Bate, in A-Kid, in his second match, and kind of destroyed him. And then he's been doing these little Jordan Presents type vignettes we've seen where, okay, it's not just about me, it's about the other talent. Let's look at Tyler Bate. Oh, here he is, losing again. There he is, losing again. Oh, there he is, losing again. So basically, this is about who is the better man here. And I've been saying it for a long time. I got ideas what this title future is. And that's why I'm just going to keep it simple and say that Jordan Devlin wins. Now, with that being said, good brother Chris, your thoughts on this match and Cindy's pick?
This match, like you said, this Jordan Devlin versus Tyler Bate match is going to pretty much steal the show. Oh, man. I was thinking about it really hard. A lot of people think this is going to be like a predictable match, but I had to think about it pretty hard, like, who needs this win more when it comes to takeovers? Now, Jordan Devlin is 0-1 in takeovers. Now, get this. When it comes to Tyler Bate, he is 0-4 in takeovers. 2 in the United States, 2 in England. I was going to go with Jordan Devlin, but have you noticed when it comes to heels and faces in takeover matches, the heels are 50% wins and the faces are 45%. There's only been 11 matches in those takeovers in England. So you can't have a heel party for this show. You got to have a face win. So my pick is going to be Tyler Bate. Yes, I'm going with the wild card on this one. This is my big wild card.
All right.
As for Sydney's pick, she's going with Jordan Devlin needs his first W on a pay-per-view.
All right, fair enough. And let's see what Jerry said. Jerry says Bate beats Devlin. Owen, your thoughts and your pick on this match?
So it's nothing against good brother Chris, but I really wish he hadn't said wild card rule, because every time someone says wild card now, I always think the wild card rule in WWE. Like,
don't mention that here, but I digress.
Sorry.
So I agree with Noah. I think Jordan Devlin is going to get the win. I think, I feel like this win could really do a lot for Jordan Devlin. I think this could possibly push him to a future NXT UK championship match. Like I said, it's the same thing with Trent Seven, where Tyler Bate, since he basically built NXT UK, can afford to take a loss. And I'm wondering, too, is this going to be Mustache Mountain, either one or both of them's last match in the UK? Are they going to want to move on to NXT US? Because I think it's time for them to do that. Maybe Tyler Bate goes to NXT in the US, or maybe Trent Seven, or maybe they both go. Because I feel like it's time. They've kind of done everything that there is to do, kind of in NXT UK. So that's something to think about.
You don't mind if I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
Owen, you got a very good point, because NXT's tag team division is getting a little stale and a little rocky. Now, when it comes to Jordan Devlin, he is very underrated. Like, he has one of the best win-loss records in NXT UK TV. And we need a WWE NXT UK European Championship. We need it now. We need a mid-card belt. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, no, that's literally what I mean, because like you said, they have done everything, because NXT UK does not have a mid-card title, yet their whole roster is mid-card. You got a point there. I mean, at this point, what's next? If both these men lose, what? Do you build a feud between the two and do Tyler Bate versus Trent Seven, best of 7 series? It's a very interesting thought to think about, but I was also thinking about the fact that Jordan Devlin, he has history with Walter especially, and I'll talk more about that later. But Tyler Bate has done it all in the UK, and why not put over the up-and-comer? Jordan Devlin, for example, had a surprise match in the first NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool against his friggin' teacher, Finn Balor. And he stole the show at that.
Oh, yeah, I got one last input. Sorry, just my last one. The last time Tyler Bate and Jordan Devlin wrestled each other was the 3-year anniversary of that tournament from the UK.
That's
and
correct.
Tyler Bate defeated Devlin in the quarterfinals.
It surprises me they didn't bring that up during Prime Target, but I guess they're not going that far back. But very good history recall. Because, again, this is not the first time they've done UK-type specials under the WWE banner at the Empress Ballroom. The inaugural tournament was held there, as well as another event. So there is a lot of history, especially behind these two. And Tyler Bates still to this day surprises me that he won that entire thing. But I digress. All right, good stuff. Yeah. But then we got Chicago, and then it was put on the map. And feel about women's professional wrestling, and I'll say it right here. I don't look at women for their look in wrestling. I look at women in wrestling for fucking wrestling. But I digress. Now we have three of the best. Coming out of Stardom, there's passion, emotion, history, betrayal, rivalries. You can look at all sorts of promotions that these women have been through, including what I just watched recently, ICW Fear and Loathing. But I digress. It is the NXT UK Women's Championship Triple Threat between Toni Storm, Piper Niven, and the current champ herself, the Scottish Daredevil, Kay Lee Ray, one of my favorites. Now, we all know how this came about because Kay Lee Ray took the title from Toni Storm at NXT UK Cardiff in what some would say was an emotionally driven match that led to a very unstable Toni Storm losing. And then she went MIA forever. Then you have Piper Niven, who made her way up through the ranks, gaining respect and being the likes of Rhea Ripley, sorry, Stefan, and even, who I think is the best heel right now in NXT UK, Jenny. And now she got this opportunity, but Toni Storm decided to come back into play, finally try and exact her revenge. But now she seems desperate at this point, says she has to win this title. And we've seen different promos and outlooks from her where it's like she's taking maybe a darker turn, but also seems desperate. And now we got this triple threat because the two cannot stay apart from each other. And Kay Lee Ray, she's gotten involved as well. But Kay Lee Ray, I think, has the most right now in advantage here with mind games, per se. However, it was reported that Kay Lee Ray, she's been injured recently. Now, so far, it has not affected her as far as competing at NXT UK to defending her title. I don't see that being dropped or changed in any way whatsoever. And I also don't see this women's title picture changing either. I see bigger things, and I was hoping for a bigger story coming out of this right now. But for now, I just see Kay Lee Ray retaining. Chris, who do you and Cindy got? And I know Cindy probably had a bunch to say on this.
Yeah. Here we go. And I quote, Kay Lee Ray retained, let me see. Yes, Kay Lee Ray retains. Toni Storm is challenging Rhea for the title at Worlds Collide and will be on NXT most of the time. Piper Niven, due to the ongoing medical condition, not bipolar, but Bell's Policy. That's from her. And plus, she did bring up about the whole shoulder injury when Toni Storm hit that German suplexer.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like my catchphrase when it comes to independent wrestling. But anyway,
I like
this match, to me, I really don't care too much because this is going to be Kay Lee Ray's first title defense.
Correct.
Yes, since August 31st, since she won the title. I feel like the title really has not been defended as much on TV, and it should. Honestly, I wish the triple threat would have never happened at all, and you could add, like, these three ladies. You know, Rhea Ripley, Killer Kelly, and Jenny. I'd rather take that than those three, but I digress. Toni Storm does... Hold on. Noah, can I say the two words, or no? Can I say it? No? Yeah.
Go ahead.
Shiny, shiny, motherfucker. Shiny, shiny. She's not going to get it back. She's not going to get the belt back. Toni Storm's not going to win. She's going to take the pinfall.
Ooh.
Yes, Toni Storm is going to take the pinfall for this. And then we can finally have the Piper Niven and Kay Lee Ray feud.
But Kay Lee Ray is retaining.
Yes.
All right. Let's go ahead and see what Jerry had to say about that. You know, in the immortal words of this is why you are at the bottom of the predictions list. But it is the start off, so who knows? He might pull something out of the blue. But he picked Toni Storm to win.
Cindy was right. Confirmed. Jerry Slaughter is a huge fan of Toni Storm. Know that.
With that being said, Owen, your thoughts on this match and your pick.
Did Jerry Slaughter say why he picked Toni Storm, or is there
No,
just
he
no?
just said Toni wins. Period.
Oh, that's great. really don't care about this feud at all. It's just really bad in my opinion. It's the whole thing we see in wrestling all the time where they were once friends and now they all of a sudden have like a falling out. We see it all the time, and obviously I wasn't a fan of the match that Tony Storm and Kaylee Ray had in NXT UK Takeover Coda. Made that known.
I saw.
And then Piper Niven just being in the equation. I really wish it just been a one-on-one match.
Yeah.
And I just, Kaylee Ray as NXT UK Women's Champion. Unless she was on NXT US, really hasn't worked that much for me. Like, honestly, I think the best work she's had, honestly, is when she got to NXT US. Don't at me. It's true. But the match itself, it could surprise me, but, with the story they're going to try to tell, I'm probably not going to be into it. So, Kaylee Ray wins. She just won the title not that long ago, pinning Tony Storm.
And the records when it comes to the records for the takeovers, Piper Niven, this is going to be her first. Tony Storm, 1-1. Kaylee Ray, she's actually 1-1. War Games, she lost that match.
Yep.
Yep, part of the first ever women's War Games. That's still amazing to this day. I mean, honestly, if you're going to build a long-term rivalry for the NXT UK Women's Championship, I would have really worked with Tegan Nox and Kaylee Ray because they had a banger of a match as the main event. And then I look at the rest of the town in NXT UK for the women's division with the likes of Jenny, Killer Kelly, Zaya Brookside, Isla Dot. They got a deep depth. They're just not doing a lot with her right now. Now, we obviously know what's going on between Jenny and Jazzy Garrett. That's going to be its own thing. But as far as anybody else, what are they doing? Nia Samuels, the last thing she was doing was endorsing herself for the future. She hasn't been seen since.
Was didn't Zaya Brookside get released soon or something? Because I thought I saw that she was taking bookings and such.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know per se if she got released, but I mean, if it's anything like regular NXT, there's probably some limitations to your booking, hence the partners of WWE like Evolve and NXT. But the UK scene's weird right now because apparently there's also a bunch of promotions that are closing down. And Triple H has spoken about this too in a media call. But again, let's see what happens.
I'm taking over. Good.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. All right. Well, now we get to... Well, we have no idea who might be in the Irons. I can't think of a single NXT or NXT UK or UK talent that could potentially be in the Irons per se. But I know something's got to give here. Now that we get to the main event, I mean, there's so much we could say, but I think we'll each just stay in our piece. So let me just say this. It is the NXT UK Championship between the leader of Imperium in Walter versus the Iron King of Dallas. And the thing, really when you think about it, this match was a year in the making. Joe Coffey. Now, we saw Prime Target. We saw both these men's stories. You saw Walter. He's not there to please people. He's not there to have fun. He is there to wrestle and keep, of course, the prestige and the ancient art of wrestling. His wrestling. Hence, the match is sacred. Then you have Joe Coffey, who at this point keeps saying NXT UK is his kingdom, but he has yet to seize the crown. And when he was this close to receiving the crown last year, he ended up getting a kick in the face by Walter out of nowhere. And he still points to that scar on his face to this day. He claims he's a different animal versus Pete Dunne, and he claims that he has to win or it's going to have a lot to think about. And then, of course, we have Walter, who has dethroned the longest reigning champion of the modern era in Pete Dunne and had a match of the year candidate last year against Tyler Bate, basically destroying British Strong Style. So here we are, a battle for not really brand supremacy, faction supremacy. Who owns NXT UK? By the end of the night, will it be Imperium or will it be Gallus? With that being said, let me just go ahead and read off Jerry's real quick. He said, Walter is victorious. Now, with that being said, there's a lot of things I'm sure we're going to talk about, think about, and definitely keep in mind because this will set the direction of NXT UK for 2020. Afterwards, Collide 2 especially. So with that being said, good brother Chris, your thoughts on this, and you and Cindy's picks.
Well, let me go with Sydney's real quick. Walter, Walter retains due to upcoming Worlds Collide.
Very nice.
Okay, now Walter is 2-0 when it comes to takeovers. Joe Coffey is 1-1 when it comes to takeovers. This match, is like you said, it's 1 year in the making. Joe Coffey felt like an afterthought when he got kicked in the face by Walter when Walter made his debut at last year's Blackpool.
Yep.
Imperium saying, this is our house. This is our playground. And Gallus keeps saying, this is our kingdom. Yeah, they have some of the gold, but they don't got the main gold that you got on your shoulder right there. By the way, it looks so beautiful, by the way, but I digress. Joe Coffey wants to be champion. Walter wants to retain that championship that you got on your shoulder again. God, it's so lovely. My goodness. Oh, I need to buy one day. But there's a little history when it comes to that championship. Have you noticed that championship has only changed hands in the United States?
Yes.
That championship has never changed hands in England. Not once. Now, originally, I was going to pick Joe Coffey to break the curse. But when the announcement of Worlds Collide was announced, it was Undisputed Era versus Imperium. Yeah, Joe Coffey, yeah, out the door. My pick is going to be Walter to retain the championship. You got to promote the championships. Undisputed Era got all the gold. Imperium got to get some of the gold.
Yeah, considering there's only 3 titles that they can get in NXT UK, because again, no mid-card title. But with that being said, Owen, your thoughts and your pick.
So yeah, this match is a year in the making. I'm really looking forward to it. I was kind of the build-up of like Joe Coffey getting into this match. He was booked a little strong, like the match against Mastiff and such, but still, they really sold me on it. Once they actually started building the match, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I think this is really a tough one to really call too, because if it's not Joe Coffey beating him, who? Because really, there's no one else in NXT UK really left that can beat, at least credible, that can beat Walter. Dave Mastiff is, if he was still undefeated, you could do him, but he's kind of lost too much now. Jordan Devlin could do it, but I feel like they've already done the match, so that's kind of a we'll wait and see type of thing. I don't really think it should be Ilya Dragunov. It really wouldn't be that believable. And yeah, there's really, the only one I can really see doing it, honestly, is, and you guys are going to call me crazy, but if they want to do it, Keith Lee. Keith Lee would be awesome if he beat from the title, but then I don't think they're going to risk taking Keith Lee out of NXT and put him in UK, because NXT's in a war right now, so they can't really take that risk. They could have Marty Scurll come in if he signs with WWE, if he doesn't go back to ROH and all that. But I think if Marty Scurll goes to WWE, like I said, NXT's in a war. He's going to NXT to shove it in AEW. He's not going anywhere else. So it's really a tough one. But I don't think Walter's hold on the NXT UK Championship is done yet. I think they're going to have Imperium continue to control NXT UK. With Aichner and Bartel getting the tag titles and Walter being the NXT UK champion. And hopefully if they put in the mid-card title, Alexander Wolf. Also, like we talked about before, Imperium's facing Undisputed Era at Worlds Collide. It's going to be a huge blow to them. And I know this isn't part of the predictions, but I'm going to say after this match, when Imperium's posing, Undisputed Era is going to invade NXT UK and attack Imperium from behind and just destroy them to really build to that match.
Oh, speaking of that, real talk, as a tiebreaker, Sydney, yes, Undisputed Era will make a surprise appearance at NXT UK Blackpool.
Are you serious?
Yes, he actually wrote this. Yes.
Wow. Well, I'm sure Jerry and Stefan will consider that, but I don't know if I would go that far. So, yeah, Walter versus Joe Coffey. What do I think about this match? That's what I think about this match. Walter is retaining this title. There's no doubt in my mind, okay? Let me tell you why. Walter dethroned Pete Dunne, the longest reigning champion of the modern era on U.S. soil, and he's been defending it ever since. And then this faction, this unstoppable force, treasuring the art of professional wrestling, and the mat is sacred, was formed in Imperium, and they have ran roughshod over NXT UK, despite not having the tag gold. As far as what you named as far as the rest of the roster goes, I look at also, because NXT UK uses storylines and rivalries from other promotions, I do see his next opponent, per se, playing in my results from earlier in the show, and I think Jordan Devlin's going to go after Walter next. If anyone could do it, possibly could be him. I've seen these two face each other at Scrappermania. We saw these two face each other during a WrestleMania Action special where Jordan Devlin got the hell chopped out of him. My God.
Yep.
Jack Starr, mad credit to you, by the way, taking that first chop and your chest with red hand mark. And also, I just don't see Walter losing this title because he wants to keep fighting personally on his home turf. He doesn't want to fight in the U.S., so you know he's going to be very begrudged at Worlds Collide, especially with the events that happen at Survivor Series, Dark Past. But keeping it simple and looking at what could happen here, besides the whole Worlds Collide thing, which I'm sure is going to play a little bit after the match. I don't think Imperium's going to attack per se. But I feel like we're going to get more build as this, gets closer. But right now, I cannot go against La Ring General Walter retaining the NXT UK Championship. And then I see Jordan Devlin challenging him next. When, how, and where, only time will tell. But bottom line, Imperium will own NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool 2, in my opinion. All right, well, with that being said, we really don't know if there's going to be a tiebreaker, but we all know our Mad General loves to do the General's order. So let's just go ahead real quick and just literally number it, all right? Based on the way we did tonight, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was the General's order, so I'm just going to ask you two straight. Do you believe the General order is right, or do you see any of these matches shifting as a tiebreaker? Chris, I'll start with you.
Thank you, because I needed to be first. The first match, Jordan Devlin versus Tyler Bate. You need a great opener. Second match, Trent Seven versus Dennis. The third match, the Fatal 4-Way Ladder match. The women's piss break match. The triple threat women's match should be fourth. Sorry. The feud's been weak. That's really a cool down match, in my honest opinion. Sorry, Sydney. I'm just saying. And last, the main event.
All right. Owen, what's your order, you think, of this match card going to be?
Devlin versus Bate. The NXT UK Tag Team Championship ladder match. Then I'm going to say Trent Seven versus Eddie Dennis. Then the UK Women's Championship match and the UK title match.
All right, fair enough.
I noticed,
sorry.
I notice always on the NXT specials, the women's and the men's title matches always follow each other. Always the last two matches on the code.
Usually.
Sydney is agreeing with my picks that I brought up earlier today. She's going with the same.
All right, well, I get what you're saying about the women, all right? It seems like on TakeOvers, the women kind of are literally the lowest match on the card in most people's eyes because the crowd is quieter, they're cooled down, they're not as into it. The last time I really saw a women match get this much hype overall on TakeOvers was War Games. Then again, Io Shirai and Candice LeRae, that was not number 4, that was number 2, and that was just a grudge match, and they still had the women's championship match on number 4 because I saw NXT TakeOver Toronto 2 live. Still, Candice LeRae, Io Shirai, best match of the entire weekend. But I digress. Anyway.
Yeah, I agree with you.
As far as my order goes, I feel like you all have a lot of key points here. But then I also think about, okay, how much cooldown do you need and how much crazy action is going to be? This is not a regular U.S. takeover. This is the UK, and they could go longer. I mean, for example, the main event was friggin' 40 minutes last year. Just saying. But with that being said, my order...
And also last time, too, that main event was on the same day as when there was 3 wrestling shows on the same day, too. So
yeah, talk about stiff competition. With that being said, I'm actually going to go with the 4-way ladder match kicking off. And then I'm going to go with Eddie Dennis versus Trent Seven, Jordan Devlin, Tyler Bate, the women's match, and then, of course, the main event last with Walter and Imperium standing tall at the end. And we'll see if you get your...
I like that booking scenario you just had. I really like that.
And we'll see if you get your shock to the system if Undisputed Era actually does go face-to-face with Imperium.
I got Rhea Ripley showing up as well. I got her showing up during the women's match. Not to
Good
break a
point.
tiebreaker, but Rhea Ripley showing up in the crowd.
Here's the thing, though. Rhea Ripley, Toni Storm, she says she has everything to lose. She really doesn't, because you all know what's happening at Worlds Collide. She's facing Rhea Ripley for the freaking NXT US Women's title. Potentially, they're trying to do a double title match, title for title. I hope not. So that's why I also didn't go with Toni Storm, because I don't want to see shiny times two.
But
So
Jerry does.
I'm sure Jerry does. But Jerry, your optimism is remarkable, commendable, but not very awardable. Hey, the points don't lie.
Jerry has to keep himself though at the bottom of the predictions league though, so he's got to maintain his spot. So.
He might be famous. There's only 10 of us this year. Imagine we have more now with the Aftermatch Wrestling Facebook page. With that being said, we've had our fun, we ranted, we assessed, we discussed, we gave our closing thoughts, and we gave an outlook of what the future might bring. So I think that's a good way to close this edition of Simply Predictin Wrestling. No doubt NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool 2 is going to be another phenomenal show, led, of course, by Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and the incredible team they have over in the UK. With that being said, gentlemen, this was an absolute pleasure. Owen, anything you want to plug, and where can people find you?
Obviously, the things, to plug is my 3 YouTube channels. First being Wrestling Fortune 44, where basically I host a wrestling show called The Wrestling Rundown, which is going to be returning January 14th, 2020. We're going to try to find a way to work our schedules around so that way Noah can be on more. Sounds like the only time Noah can be on is just Fridays and the weekends, so so we'll work around that. But also the Retro Wrestling Review series is going to return next week. I don't know the date yet, where we're going to review NXT TakeOver or Evolution, the one where Kevin Owens made his debut. So that will be a fun one to do. And then on the Talking Idiot YouTube channel for my non-wrestling stuff. I know we've been kind of on a little bit of a hiatus, but, with everything being done, we're making a video tomorrow. And then CM Brothers coming on to my 800th video on that channel soon, so that should be a fun video to do. The 800th video we'll be doing, we're going to review a movie called Death Note. I forget the name of it, but it's a situation that happened. Is spoiler alert, but I was just say, so I gave you the warning. If L had won versus Light, so that would be a fun one.
All right, fair enough. Good stuff. Good brother, it's a rarity we do this, but it's always a pleasure when we do, and I hope next time we come together is during NJPW. But with that being said, anything you want to plug, and where can people find you?
Follow me on Facebook, Christopher Willis. Follow me on Instagram, Chris J. Willis 86. Follow me on Twitter, GB Chris Willis 86. Follow my Facebook group, AEW Nation. I found that we almost close to 21,000, I think. So that's pretty cool. So follow the rest of the YouTube panels as well. Sorry if I forget the names. The Cleaver, Colin Andrews. Follow his YouTube channel. Follow Good Sister Sydney. Simply_C_OK. Follow The Holiday, Chris Mace, on his YouTube channel. Follow Mark's Reviews on his YouTube channel. And subscribe to Aftermatch Wrestling. Please support Jerry and Stefan. These guys are phenomenal guys. They're like peanut butter and jelly. They like vanilla and caramel. We know you're the champion, Noah. We know. Calm down. But still. Oh yeah, you gotta do your catchphrase. I can't give out your catchphrase. Do what you gotta do.
No, you're fine. I'm just making sure you got everything out there, bro. You know me.
Yeah,
all right. Thank you, man. A good heart is always a pleasure doing videos with you. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know who's this weird guy with a championship that seems to just talk a lot of wrestling, know this. I'm just a simple man. And if you haven't figured it out from this video, I am a lifelong fan of what, gentlemen?
Wrestling.
You're damn right, wrestling! Not just sports entertainment, but wrestling in all of its forms. The good, the bad, the ugly, the what the fuck, and everything in between. So if you want to talk to me about anything wrestling, feel free to look me up on Twitter, nodq.com/Noah Takes, my Twitter page, or follow me on Instagram, hashtag SimpleManInLife, and Foster1916, or follow the Simple YouTube channel here, youtube.com/user/NoFoster210. Everything in nice, neat, organized playlists for you. Primarily, it's nothing but wrestling. Simple as that. The heart of it, my series, hashtag 205 Life Matters. Predictions, polls, recaps, simple takes, reviews, discussions, fun chats, such as this, and more. And if you haven't figured it out by now, of course, at the heart of all this, support No DQ. There's the reason I got into YouTube, forever dead to the No DQ family. Buy a shirt, buy a tapestry, buy a mug, just buy something to support my friends. Do it. NoDQ.com/merch teases the store. Follow them on our social media platforms. Your opinions matter. There's a comment section and everything. Polls, columns, memes, gifts, reviews, recaps, polls, sexy female pics. You name it, it's there. I saw that. Primarily WWE wrestling with a little bit of AEW and independent wrestling. Stay tuned also for this YouTube channel for further content where I'll be doing predictions. I already did predictions on Impact Hard to Kill, and I will be joining Jeff Meacham on the Talk Wrestling Network. If you haven't already, look it up on Anchor. Great stuff. I'll be joining him for a post-show review of both NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool 2 and Impact Wrestling's Hard to Kill. Other stuff coming up on this channel includes Simply Predictin Wrestling for NWA Hard Times, as well as WWE Worlds Collide, the Royal Rumble that kickstarts Team No DQ's Predictions League. Once again, I will be participating, keeping the score up, third place. Damn it, Sung and Caitlin. And also, I'll be doing a live Simple Take recap for my first ever AEW Dynamite experience in Cleveland, Ohio, January 29th. And of course, at the heart of me, I will be back with NJPW with predictions, mostly with these gentlemen and more, for both New Japan Pro Wrestling, New Beginning in Sapporo, and Osaka. We got a ton of professional wrestling coming up, folks. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan, better than ever. And as always, I like to close. Support your wrestling outlets, both big and small. Let's keep growing this incredible, diverse, unique, elite, unscripted, unapologetic, 100% authentic wrestling community together. Simple as that. With that being said, we are done here. What are your thoughts and predictions for NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool 2? What match are you looking forward to the most? What do you hope to see happen? Who do you hope to see in the audience? Please let me know. Let us all know. Like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Hit that bell to know the next video is going to go live. Hit the subscribe button. It helps grow this channel. I'm just going to see what I can do with it. This is just a fun little atmosphere for me and for wrestling fans galore. Thank you to the 108 that have subscribed to me and given me over 5,000 views. That's pretty phenomenal after a year. And stay tuned as I will be doing basically my 1-year anniversary special, hashtag 205 Live Matters, with a double feature discussing this week's and last week's episode of 205 Live. I can't believe now I've done that series for 1 year. Wow. But anyway, thank you. But anyway, with that being said, we are done here. So, of course, for good brother Christopher Willis, for the Talkinator, the Birdman of Boston, Owen Finch, and I am just your simple man and inaugural NXTeam champion, and I look forward to doing it again, starting with winning at TakeOver. I hope you all take care, enjoy life. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. Treasure your families. Treasure wrestling. Find someone that can connect to you. Bring yourself together with this world. You are not alone, and appreciate yourself for who you are, and find others that appreciate you. And until next time, I hope you all, as always, have a good night.
And for the spirit of Sydney, cheers, y'all.
Oh, good grief almighty. I knew we had to end with something like that. But yes,
Yep.
cheers to everybody out there for an incredible night of wrestling to come. Bye, everybody.